Happy Monday, everyone. My name is Janelle Villiers, and I am your host of The Other Side podcast, where we are all about being on the other side of the journey of mental health awareness and excuse me. Of course, I start joking right at the beginning. Excuse me. So, yeah, we're all about this journey that we're on called life, and how we're just trying to get better every single day, growing and learning about ourselves. And a lot of that has to just do with maintaining our mental health. And so I'm really excited to be with you here on another episode. For some people, it's a mindful Monday. Other people, it's a motivational Monday. But you decided to be here with me on the Other Side podcast, and I couldn't be more happy about that. So let's talk about today's topic. It's about knowing your worth. Knowing your worth. I actually think today's topic is really important. I feel like I've been having a lot of conversations with people around this lately where at least I can see, you know how you can see other people's stuff better than you can see your own, right? And I'm just thinking about how they're letting people treat them, or their expectations of others are so low. It just makes me think that, you know what? I don't think they really have a high value of themselves. I know I personally, excuse me, I personally have had issues with this, with just not even asking for what I really want, because I feel like people won't think that I'm worthy of getting it, right? Like, or I don't even think I'm worthy of getting what I really want. So like I chicken out and don't ask for it. And I just figured if I'm the one who's thinking this, then certainly there must be other people who are going through the same thing. So I figured we would talk about three main things. So how to identify and embrace, right, our unique value. So we'll get into 3 ways to do that. Then some practical steps to boost our self-worth and confidence as we're looking at ourselves and trying to, have better confidence. Who doesn't want that? And then 3, how knowing our worth can actually have a positive impact on our personal and professional lives. So let's get right into it. Now, if this is your first time here on the Other Side podcast, please go ahead and put a 1 in the chat. I want to make sure I shout everybody out if it's your first time. If you've been here before, go ahead and put a 2 in the comments, so I know that I'm not alone here. You are someone who's been on the Other Side podcast before, and you know essentially how this goes. So, hey, Coach Wade. Hey, Maya Bella. Hi, C. Karsgek. Hi, Gene Snips. And Coach Wade. All of you guys are on Instagram. Thanks so much for joining me there. So let's get into it. First off, let's talk about embracing our unique value. And I think number 1 is self-reflection. The awareness bit that I'm always talking about, thinking about your own uniqueness, your own values. Take time to assess some of the strengths, some of the things that you do really well without even trying, maybe some of your talents, some things that you're really passionate about. And it's really, I know sometimes people don't want to think about that because they're like, oh, I don't want to get like obnoxious or seem like I'm conceited or anything like that. But I think it's important to mark those things down. Otherwise, you'll forget that you've had a positive impacts on other people. So jot down those positive impacts you've had on people, whether it's in your workspace, whether it's in your relationships, your romantic relationships. Just recognizing those moments that you have created unique value can be really powerful. And it's not like you're going around telling the whole world. It's just for you. Seeking feedback. I've done this exercise in different arenas. I've participated in different workshops where you're tasked with asking friends or family to describe you in a particular way, or describe your strengths, or describe what they think is unique about you, things like that, or things that they love about you. One of the really great questions I love from Simon Sinek is, he says, go up to 5 of your closest friends and ask them, why are you my friend? Like, what about me makes you want to be my friend? And I love this question because, people will start to think of like they'll think, oh, well, like, you're this, or they'll think of moments in time, like, oh, remember that time when we did this XYZ. And it's like really nailing it down. It's like, okay, got it. But why are we friends? Like, why are you my friend? And hopefully you'll really dial it into like how you make them feel. And I love that question from Simon Sinek, because I think it's one of those things like we can self-reflect, but when you hear from others how they see you and how they feel about you and how you make them feel, that's really critical, because oftentimes we just overlook that stuff. Like we don't even realize it. So seeing how others see you can be really helpful for you to embrace your unique value and to identify what makes you really powerful, what makes you really valuable. And then of course you want to celebrate those differences, right? So, embracing the qualities that make you different and recognizing that where you're from, your background, your unique experiences, all of those things basically help to make you who you are. You're one in God knows how many billion of people on the planet. There's no one else like you. And that's amazing, right? So those are my 3 steps for embracing your unique value. Number 2, I wanted to talk about steps that we can put in place if you're really trying to like boost your self-worth, especially to yourself and then of course to others. And I think number 1 is setting and achieving small goals. I've said this once before when it was like how to increase your self-confidence. It's the constant breaking of the little promises that we make to ourselves. That's what brings down our self-esteem. But if we're just, even if we're doing like the tiny little things and we say we're going to do them and it's a promise to ourselves and we do them, it's these little things that actually increase. And it seems like nothing, right? Because we always underestimate over time what little things can do. And we overestimate what can we overestimate what we can do in a small period of time. But essentially, I'm talking about super simple things. Like you say to yourself, you know what? Tonight I'm going to wash the dishes. It is so easy not to wash dishes tonight, right? Like you're just like, I'm tired. I'll do it tomorrow, right? You can always put it off tomorrow. But what if you said, no, I told myself I was going to do the dishes tonight. I'm going to do them, right? You do them, and like a little part of you is like, I did the thing that I said I was going to do, right? It's and then you just chip away at that over and over and over again. You have these little promises that you say that you're going to do, and then actually do them. The goals, having really tiny goals, are the same way. Dishes could be a goal, but like if your goal, sometimes people have this goal of doing like ridiculous amounts of things in a very short period of time, but it's like, no. Let's do like a really small, and one of my mentors calls them a micro goal. What's like a micro goal that you can get done, right? And so for me today, I had a lot of editing to do of different videos to create reels and from other interviews that I've done on Save That channel. Many of you are familiar with Save That channel. And I've been telling myself that I was going to do this for like weeks. And I finally just sat down and I was like, I can do at least, out of the 12 that I had to do, I was like, I can at least do half. I can do 5. And I did it. I managed to do the 5. I got it done, and I feel really good about that. It's a small goal. It's not huge. It's not life shattering. It's not going to change the trajectory of my life in that moment. But imagine I just kept doing those things over and over and over again and kept achieving those small goals over time. That makes a huge difference. And I can pat myself on the back. I can feel confident to know that I've done all these things to get me this far. Number 2 for boosting your self-worth are positive affirmations. I love positive affirmations. I send them out to my community of authors. I got you. I support you. Your story is super, super worthy and valuable, and people need to hear it. And so I send them positive affirmations about being an author. But there are so many different positive affirmations you can get. I mean, literally, you can go on ChatGPT now and ask it to make positive affirmations. Here's what I will say, though. If you are recoiling from the affirmation that you are making, like if you're like, I am enough, right? And then, but in your mind, you're like, no, that like, I don't really feel like I'm enough. I don't really feel that at all. And this is the whole thing about value, right? Just say like, I have unique things about me that make me special, right? Just a slight change into something that you can actually like believe, that you're not like, that's a lie. You know what I mean? Like things that you can actually believe in, but saying them about yourself consistently over time is really, really happy. So I am capable. I deserve and have had success. I deserve happiness, things like that. And then investing in self-care, that's number 3 for boosting your self-value. Taking time for yourself, prioritizing time for yourself to nurture your mental, your emotional, and your physical well-being Huge. Huge, 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 huge. Because when you take care of you, nobody's going to take care of you like you want to be taken care of unless they see from you how you want to be taken care of. Does that make sense? Are you following? So like you're like, no, I need to spend 30 minutes a day doing yoga. This is really important to me. It's important to my mental health, my physical health, everything else. Somebody who knows that about you is going to be like, oh, okay, like Janelle's mental and physical health is really important to her because she takes out time. So I want to make sure that like I'm continue, like someone who cares about you obviously is going to want to make sure that they continue to keep up that kind of expectation, right? They're not going to try and knock you down because they know that, no, this is actually really important to me. So no, I'm not going to accept anything less than that because this is already what I set for myself, right? So investing and prioritizing your self-care, huge, huge, huge. So that's the 3 things to boost your self-worth. Now let's talk about how doing these things can actually be really helpful for your personal and professional life. Number 1, you're going to have better relationships. Let's just be honest, right? If you have a high set of values, or if you see yourself at a high value, you know that you are very worthy, you're going to have higher expectations of people. There's a lot of talk about bare minimum out there on social media. And yeah, you're not going to accept bare minimum. It's true, because you know that you're worth so much more. And so you won't, you just have expectations. When you expect higher for yourself, you're more likely to get it. When your expectations are lower, you're more likely to get the low expectations. So set higher expectations for how you should be treated, because you yourself have a lot of value. You'll also a lot of times in your professional life, you'll see career growth, because once you recognize your value, it allows you to advocate for yourself in the workplace, right? And that includes negotiating a raise, pursuing promotions, or just seeking out new opportunities, right? To like kind of flex some of the things that you're really good at. You know, maybe you're good at doing I just came from the healthcare field, so I'm thinking about grand rounds, right? So like maybe there's something special that you want to share at grand rounds, and many people are scared of public speaking or speaking in front of others. So if your unique talent just happens to be that you don't mind doing that, then there's an area where you can do that. That might not necessarily get you a raise or get you a promotion, but people start to see you in different places, right? And so, or see you in a different light. And that certainly highlights your skills, your passions, things like that. And that's always really cool. Maybe it's just setting up a support group. So not necessarily speaking in front of people, but you're like creating a group of people who have like-minded interests, and so you support each other doing that, or just creating any type of initiative in your job is going to be able to help you really pursue your passions and show off your unique skill set. And then the other thing it's going to do is it's really going to increase your resiliency. You know, knowing that you have a solid foundation of what your worth is, this confidence level, it helps you stay grounded really for the challenges that we all face during our lives. And so when you face a challenge or a setback or something, you're just better able to like, okay, this is a setback, but how else can I think about this? What else can I do? And you can like bounce back, so that way you can achieve these like really large goals that you have in your life. So these 3 things, if nothing else, it's certainly worth it to put in place some of the things that we've been talking about. So I'm just going to go over them really quickly again for everyone who has just joined. If you're just joining on at the end, you're going to get a quick take on how to know your value. If you have been watching from the very beginning, please let me know if this has been brought value to you. It's really, really helpful for me as I continue to come up with other topics to talk about with people. So let me know if it's valuable. Please put that in the comments. So here's a rundown of what we just talked about, right? So knowing your value. 3 things I wanted to talk about: how to identify and embrace your unique value, practical steps to boost your self-worth, and number 3, knowing how these things can actually impact and improve your professional and personal lives. So what are the 3 ways to help to identify and embrace your unique value and worth? Number 1 is self-reflection. Take time to reflect on your strengths, some of the achievements that you've had in your relationships, in your professional life, etc. Number 2, seek feedback. Go and ask your friends and family, like, what do you like about me? What do you think is really a positive thing that I've done or had an impact on your life? Why are we friends? Number 3, celebrate your differences. So once you identify the things that really make you, where you're from, your background, all those things, and recognize that those are the things that actually have helped you through some of the challenges in your life, right? And celebrate that. It's amazing, right? So the next step that I wanted to cover is the steps to help boost with your self-worth. So what are 3 ways to do that? Number 1 is set really small goals, or keep those really small promises to yourself. Just keep them. Keep the small promises to yourself. Set the small goals. Make sure that you can actually achieve them, because believe me, that's going to build your confidence. Secondarily, practice positive affirmations. I love these. You are worthy. You're beautiful. You're amazing. I will certainly lift you up in that, even if you don't lift yourself up. And then number 3 is invest and prioritize self-care in your daily calendar, in your daily to-do list. Like, it should be prioritized. It's something that you actually put in your schedule to do. And these are things that will nurture your mental health and your emotional health, and even your physical well-being. And then finally, how do you know these things, or how will doing any of these things help you in your personal and professional life? Number 1, it's going to help you have better relationships. So when you know your worth, you set healthy boundaries, you attract people into your life who really honor and respect you. Number 2, you have career growth, right? So when you recognize your own value, you tend to advocate for yourself. This includes advocating for raises, or negotiating for raises, pursuing promotions, looking at different opportunities to show off your skill set and your passions, or to really dig into your unique skill sets and passions. And then number 3 is it creates an increased resilience. Life, there's always going to be struggles and challenges. And so when you have a higher sense of self-worth and value, anytime a challenge comes, you're able to bounce back a little bit better, right? You don't just sit there and you're like, oh, woe's me. Why is this happening to me? Why does the world suck? Everything happens to me. It's always going not my way. No, you're like, it's okay. How can we do this in a different way? What's a different way that we can get around to doing the same exact, or getting around to get the same exact goal that we had in the first place, right? So you really just create a sense of resiliency. So now you understand how doing these things can impact your life personally and professionally. You got some tips and exercises that you can do. Let me know if you do the Why Are We Friends exercise. I think it's super powerful, from Simon Sinek. And I can't wait to see you guys next Monday. This has been a great time. Again, thank you all for chiming in. Let me know if this is valuable. Again, don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. All of that is free. It doesn't cost you anything to do that. And it tells the algorithm that what we're talking about is really important. Can't wait to see you guys next week. Have an amazing rest of your day. Bye.